Hello once again, and welcome to another installment of Stock Market Gambling 101. Through the magic of video, I managed to visit you in real time this morning, and it looks at least so far today that the bulls are running wild. The market is up 88.24 points, or almost 0.5% on the day so far. However, it's not the next morning, it's the following Monday, August 29th, 2016. When I said I'd see you the next day in the previous video, I must have forgotten that it was Friday. So anyway, now that I've established that it's actually Monday, let's check and see how my stocks are doing, shall we? It looks like I'm doing pretty good this morning so far, and 3 of my 4 stocks are up for the day. With the most notable stock being up, our old friend YRD is way up this morning, up almost $2 per share at $27.80 per share. I didn't choose to sell anything this morning because nothing has hit my goal of being up over 3%. As a matter of fact, nothing's really even close yet. But it does look like SGY is performing fairly well. And we'll see later whether or not it hits its goal of 3% up overall. Understand that currently I'm going with an overall goal of being up 3% overall, not just 3% for the day. In an earlier video, I referred to this as my I'm stubborn strategy. So I have all my limit sell orders in place, and if any of these stocks go up to being up 3% overall, then they will sell automatically. Here we are a few hours later. It's 11:40 a.m. right now. And during the time that we were gone, we did have a little good news. One of my stocks, namely SGY, hit goal and sold. So that means that I know I'll have at least one spot to fill this afternoon, so we know we'll be buying a stock. I made a little sheet to help me pick stocks, and this is what I did. I used what is called Googlefinance. The Googlefinance is a feature on Google spreadsheets that allows you to see and update stock ticker information automatically on a spreadsheet. This saves you from the tedious exercise of looking up information online and then manually inputting a whole bunch of different data. Now, I'm not going to teach all of how Googlefinance works here, but I am going to give one example. There's lots of different information you can get, but just as one example, the feature is equals Googlefinance. And then you put in the name of the stock ticker, for example, SGY, and then what you want it to return. In this case, I'll put in price. And voila, we have the current price of SGY at $11.49. And if I changed this to PMI or PCMI, for example, it gives me the current price for the stock PCMI, which is apparently getting pretty close to the goal number of $18.59, as a side note. And incidentally, if you want a full explanation of how Googlefinance works, feel free to contact me, or you can write in the comments section, and I'll be happy to explain it for you. It's just that if I tried to explain it here, it would be a little bit confusing and it would go over some people's heads. So I will help out individual people if they want to learn about it. Now, on this spreadsheet here, I utilize all Googlefinance data. Based on that data, I have developed a point system to figure out whether or not a stock is good to buy for the day. I developed this point system myself, and of course there is no guarantee whatsoever that it will actually work. but we'll see. Now the point system is rather elaborate, and I give points for many different things. I'm not going to go over exactly how it's arrived at here, but let me just give one example of what I give points for. Right here, for example, this box checks to see if the high for the day, which is right there, is more than yesterday's high, which is right there. If that's true, what happens is it awards 10 points, and if it isn't true, it subtracts 10 points. In this case, it is true, so there's the 10 points right there that was awarded for that particular test. As I stated before, this point system is rather elaborate, and as you can see, I have lots of tests, all the way down here. All those points in that section that I've shown you right there in columns B through D add up together and show the total right here. The higher the number, the better. This example is JDST, a stock that I'm looking at possibly buying today. From my experience with checking out my point system so far, it appears to me that any point total above about 150 points is a pretty darn high total. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at various stocks that are on my watch list and put them into my spreadsheet here and check their point totals. And the highest point total I find will likely be the stock that I end up buying. I keep a watch list of interest here on this site called StockTwits. Here's my watch list right here, and there's quite a few stocks. It goes all the way down there. And I have it sorted by biggest losers for the day. Now keep in mind this list was already filtered prior to even making it on the list to start with. All the stocks listed here are supposedly strong performing stocks. Or I should say, at the very least, the site bar chart considers them to be stocks that will perform well. My theory is that if a stock should be performing well, but it has a significant downturn, then it has a very good chance of performing well the next day. At least that's my theory. So the worst performing stock that I have on my watch list of the day is CYCC. As an interesting side note, CYCC is a stock that I recently and successfully bought and sold at a profit. So let's put CYCC into my spreadsheet and see how it comes out. I happen to know, though, that the point total isn't going to be that high because CYCC hasn't been performing well for a couple days now, and that's going to lower its score. 114 points. That's still a pretty high score, but it's certainly not as high as JDST. So what I'll do now is I'll go down my list here and input various stocks to look at, and based on that information I'll pick a stock to buy today. So here's our current winner, JDST, at 178 points. Let's see if any other stocks can beat its point total. After putting in several of my stocks on my watch list, I came up with two different stocks, JDST and DUST. Now JDST went up a bit since last we checked, so the total points for buying it has actually gone down a bit. That's still a very high point total though. However, bar chart downgraded this stock from the last time I checked to a hold. And I know it must have been higher than hold before because it wouldn't have been on my watch list otherwise. On the other hand, the stock DUST is still listed as a good stock to buy. Not extremely high, but it's 24%. That's pretty good. But further, DUST does have the highest point total that I've checked. It's currently at 175 points. That's very good. So now, using a limit buy order, as I've suggested before, I'm going to go and buy some shares of DUST, and I'll be right back. Excuse me, before I should have said that I was making a stop limit buy. And anyway, I did indeed buy DUST, and I got, excuse me, I put the wrong number of shares in here. I bought 3 shares at $35.06, and ooh, look at that, it's already up to $35.09. So here's where I ended the day. I made a last minute transaction and bought UGAS. My intention was to sell PCMI, but unfortunately I didn't get the order in time, and I wasn't able to make the transaction. But that's okay. We'll just go into tomorrow with 5 stocks instead of 4, and the next time I sell a stock I won't replace it, and I'll just leave it at 4 stocks. So just go ahead and click on that little button in the lower right hand corner to go on to the next video, where I will be covering tomorrow's transactions. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.